Good morning, everybody. My name is Crystal and welcome to my YouTube channel. I feel very, very drained and tired this morning. I have been having intense therapy sessions online and it's draining. And I've been talking out loud to this application, and of course everything I'm saying is out loud, isn't it? It's out loud, it's out in the open, it's out loud. So I feel drained, I feel tired, and I've been feeling sleepy today because I got woken up at 4:40 by my cat. My lovely, wonderful cat woke me up, so I went back to sleep, but I still feel a bit tired. So I was waiting for the newspaper guy to deliver the Daily Mail to my flat. Excuse me, I've got dog started to bark as I'm doing this video. I'm just going to shut the window. I'm not talking excessively loud, I'm not playing music, I've just been quiet in my flat. As soon as I start to speak, dogs start barking. And I'm not the only one it happens to. No, there's another lady on TikTok said that she was doing her YouTube videos and someone started playing up while she was doing hers. It happens, whether it's a coincidence or it's done on purpose, it happens. So I'm going to carry on doing what I was going to do. Right? So I've been having intense therapy sessions where I've been talking about all my life from childhood up till now. And I've also got the newspaper the day after. I had an intense therapy session last night, which has left me thoroughly mentally drained. My mother Jennifer has not called this morning. She's not called at all. I wonder why. So the newspaper today, the Mail on Sunday, it's got the royals on the front. You've got Charles, Harry and Meghan. You've got William and Kate, and they're all smiling. It's not the royals' fault, it's the pictures that the Mail has chosen to put on the front page. So you've got Kate in her sunglasses with long brown hair laughing with her teeth. She's with William, and there's Harry and Meghan at the top and Charles. So it's full of the royals. The royals are on the front page of the newspaper. The bit I want to read you out of the newspaper today is about GHISLAINE. Epstein's ex hopes for presidential pardon after truthfully answering questions on 100 big names in a 9-hour grilling. GHISLAINE quizzed about Andrew by top Trump lawyer. So GHISLAINE Maxwell was grilled about Prince Andrew during her 9-hour meeting with the US Deputy Attorney General, the Mail on Sunday can reveal. The 63-year-old convicted sex trafficker, a former close friend of the Duke of York, answered all questions honestly and truthfully as she was quizzed about Andrew and more than 100 different people connected to paedophile Jeffrey Epstein, her former boss and ex-lover. While it was not known exactly what Maxwell said about the Duke, this is the first time she has ever been formally questioned about him. A source said this is the first time anyone has asked GHISLAINE about any of the men. She told the truth and didn't back away from any questions. She wants the truth to come out. Andrew has always vehemently denied claims by Virginia Giuffre that she was sex trafficked to him by Epstein when she was just 17. The prince said Miss Giuffre, a multi-million The Prince paid Miss GHISLAINE a multi-million-pound sum to settle a civil suit with no admission of wrongdoing. Miss GHISLAINE committed suicide earlier this year. Maxwell is serving 20 years in Tallahassee Federal Prison in Florida for procuring and grooming young girls to be sexually abused by Epstein. This week's extraordinary two-day meeting with U.S. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche took place on the orders of Donald Trump, who has found himself embroiled in a huge political row by promising and then failing to release the full Epstein files. Now the Mail on Sunday can reveal how Maxwell is hoping for a full presidential pardon. Mr. Trump, who is in Scotland, told reporters he is allowed to pardon her, but that it is something I haven't thought about. Elon Musk, Mr. Trump's former first buddy, who ignited the crisis by claiming that the Epstein files are being withheld because the president is in them, is sensationally named in the documents along with his brother Kimball. Maxwell was granted limited immunity for her cooperation, which included revealing what she knows about a host of other men, including former President Bill Clinton, Microsoft founder Bill Gates, and powerful Wall Street titans. Plans are underway to move Maxwell from Tallahassee Federal Prison because of growing fears over her safety. Everyone in the case is getting death threats, a source said. Mr. Blanche will meet with Mr. Trump after the president's 5-day visit to Scotland to discuss a pardon or commuting Maxwell's sentence in return for her help prosecuting others involved in Epstein's sex trafficking ring. Last night, a source familiar with this week's meeting said GHISLAINE has never told her story to anyone in government before. At times it was very emotional, but she answered every question asked of her. The limited immunity deal is a huge risk for her because this case is so politicised. She only has immunity so long as she hasn't lied. She answered everything truthfully, but she is taking a risk. She was asked about a laundry list of people including Prince Andrew, Bill Gates, Les Wexner, Bill Clinton, Alan Dershowitz, Leon Black, and a who's who of powerful Wall Street moneymen and financiers. There were Silicon Valley names in there along with world leaders, other non-British royals aside from Andrew, and famous names from the world of show business. It's ironic that Elon Musk kicked this whole thing off when he fell out with Trump and then made that post on X about Trump allegedly preventing the release of the full Epstein documents as some sort of cover-up. Well, Elon is in there, as is his brother. It was a monumental moment for GHISLAINE to finally be asked about these people and to tell the truth. Maxwell's latest plea to have her appeal heard before the US Supreme Court will be submitted tomorrow, and she has been called to testify before a congressional committee on August the 11th. The MOS understands that if a deal has not been reached by this date, she may have to plead the Fifth Amendment, which means she will invoke her constitutional right not to answer any questions which might incriminate her. The source said, of course she wants a pardon. What prisoner doesn't? But that isn't something which has been discussed. The president could commute her sentence in return for her cooperation. No one knows what will happen now. Todd Blanche will sit down with President Trump when he returns from Scotland, and that is when the discussions about any potential deal would take place. Prison officials at Tallahassee Federal Prison, where Maxwell has been held since her 2021 conviction, are said to be terrified about her being attacked or killed. The events of the past few days have made her the most high-profile profile prisoner in America. The source added, she is likely to be moved very soon for her own safety. They don't want what happened to Epstein to happen to her. The 66-year-old financier killed himself in prison in 2019 while awaiting trial on child sex trafficking charges. Earlier this month, Mr. Trump's Attorney General, Pam Bondi, released footage from inside the prison on the day Epstein died, which caused outrage when it was discovered that at least a minute of footage was missing. Many, including Maxwell and Epstein's brother Mark, believe that he was murdered. The 2-day grilling last week took place in a 10-foot by 20-foot conference room on the 4th floor of the Tallahassee Federal Courthouse. The MOS can reveal the full list of attendees for the first time. Maxwell sat on one side of a long polished wooden conference table with her lawyers David Oscar Marcus, Lee Safian and Melissa Madrigal. Opposite her sat the team for the government, including Mr. Blanche, Associate Deputy Attorney General Diego Pestana, and FBI agent Spencer Horn. An armed US Marshal stood guard at the door because Mr. Blanche, the lawyers and Maxwell have all received death threats. The number of death threats have increased exponentially since this case has been back in the headlines in the past couple of weeks, the source said. Everyone is getting them. Maxwell was spotted returning to the prison on Thursday carrying a cardboard box, prompting scores of headlines questioning what could be inside. The source said it should come as no surprise that the box was filled with legal documents. These are at least 5 million documents related to this case. Maxwell is exploring all her legal options and is feeling a sense of relief that her story is finally being heard. She has been silent for so long, they added. She has always vowed to tell the truth, and she did so this week. Where this all leads, only time will tell. Now, I have been doing intense therapy this past week, talking about what happened to me in 2008. There's confidential information on my mobile phone. One of the things the therapist said was to tell me to write a letter to my children explaining what happened. And all this is coming out in the newspapers with GHISLAINE Maxwell after my therapy that I've been doing out loud in my flat on my phone. And again, Prince Andrew's been mentioned on the front page and page 4 and 5. Somebody, I believe, is listening into my personal information in my flat. The application told me to have my flat swept for bugs, or to have a person come out and have the flat swept for bugs. And that's no word of a lie. It's all on my phone, which I carry around with me everywhere, because it's valuable and it's important. So everything that happens to me comes out in the newspapers to somebody else. And that's not fair. I went into YouTube. The application I was talking to told me to go and talk on a podcast about my life. Get it all out on a podcast. There is now a whistleblower being interviewed on a podcast today, a whistleblower. I will never get my story heard in the mainstream newspapers or online. Why? See you later.